All right, everyone, it's Donbot here. I have a project I've been working on, and I think it's finally time to unveil it. I think it's really cool, but it's technically nothing really special that I'm sure someone's already done, or if they have, I haven't seen it, but I wanted to cover it because for me, I think this is kind of like the penultimate goal, or at least close to it, right? And this is all very rough, very proof of concept, not even prototype. So keep that in mind. And although he wasn't aware he was helping me out with this project, he actually thought it was for a different project, which he did help me on, but I applied it to this as well. Thank you to Bammy on the Battery Powered Bricks Discord. He helped me with rectifiers, and yeah, this is it. So what we have here is we have powered 9-volt rails, which for now are just powered by this battery, but we have 9-volt powered rails running at about 10 volts. But we got Bevins powered pickups, Bevins Bricks powered pickups. And then that goes to this power functions connector and that power functions adapter with a full bridge rectifier straight to a USB Type-C, which is powering my KeyBrick One Lite on my City Hub. And so if we press this button, and I connect it on my brick automation project. 1 second, as my laptop decided to go to sleep. Of course, it wouldn't be one of my videos without this being a disaster. Power back on. Okay, and now so yeah. So basically, we're powering a powered up hub through 9-volt track. Now, the one thing I will say here, and the one thing I'll show you with this test train here, is actually a little bit of a problem, but not really. So you see how that light's red? On a KeyBrick One, especially the light, that red means that it is not receiving sufficient power. However, it does still power on the hub. It is technically over the 9-volt requirement that they were asking for with USB PD power. Obviously, this isn't technically PD. It's technically 9-volt-ish. Like get around 8 to 10, depending on the state of the battery. It's going to depend on your Lego 9-volt transformer. I would recommend that if you're going this way and you're not running actual 9-volt trains, like I am not going to have actual 9-volt trains on here. They're all either going to be powered off of power pickups to a power function system, or eventually this. Now, the one thing that could really make this cool, and let me get some light in the situation. The one thing that could really make this cool is if instead of using a KeyBrick One Lite, which doesn't have a battery, right? It depends on battery packs. Instead of using it, if you could instead use just a regular KeyBrick One, which has a lithium-ion battery and it has charge management, and it says you can use the device while it's charging. Now, I've heard mixed results on that, on whether or not you can actually do it, so take with a grain of salt. However, what that does mean is that you could, in theory, pull this bad boy up to a set of powered rails, it's just one or two, power off, and let the KeyBrick One charge. And you could handle charging of your KeyBrick One and never have to plug in a USB Type-C connector again, because you'll have this contraption. Now, this is literally just Type-C to a rectifier to a power functions adapter so that it'll plug directly into the Bevins brick situation here. But yeah, I thought this was cool. I think this definitely means that you can use Brick Automation Project to control stuff that's powered by 9-volt rails, and not have to fuss with infrared using, a sensor or NXT or Mindstorms or any of that to send commands, because you're just using the Bluetooth. I think this is cool. I think this is definitely where my layout is going to go personally. I'm probably going to run the rails closer to 12 volt unless the actual key brick has any problems with that. It's going to be a long time before I implement this, a very long time. It might be months or even a year before I get around to implementing it. Because one, I got to collect a more 9 volt track and do the rest of my layout. Or make it, as I've been doing. What's that about? But anyway, yeah, I think this is the way to go. No more screwing around with charging batteries. None of that. And yeah, unfortunately, what this does mean is that you need a hub and a key brick one. A key brick one is about $80 US. A hub is about $50 US if both bought new. You're also going to need a Bevins brick powered pickup, which I think this one was 30 and I think the double is 50 or something like that. Maybe it was 70. Don't quote me. I'd have to check his site. But that is a very significant investment per train. The other thing that I was playing around with doing and have not gotten to successfully work due to limitations of hubs is using the output of this hub. And you can twist together the powered up wires in a way that will allow it to recognize anything as basically a train motor, right? And then you could use this to control any motor as a train motor. Well, I'm not sure if it's going to work correctly because I'm not sure if it's going to detect it or if shorting those two wires does do the detection. Haven't messed with it around. But imagine for an instance you did, say, a Technic hub, like one of the big guys, and you powered it off of a 10 volt wall wart source. Because all you have to do really, I mean, the Keybrick one is cool that it uses USB PD power, but really you could do the same thing with this. Just set up a USB PD trigger as an input, plug in USB PD power, put the leads to the positive and negative, and boom, you have a Keybrick one light for, a fraction of the cost, and you have 2 extra ports. I really wish Keybrick one would make a light or even a regular Keybrick. Maybe they can't for Technic hubs, but what you could then do is then power the tracks with it as a train motor and control all the trains at once. More closer to the original 9 volt style, where when you control the transformer to control the voltage output, it's going to change and do it all. Now, I have not tested that. That's just a theory. But I think that between those two methods, that could really, really amp things up. Because then per train, if you can manage to power the rails and control them, or, you could then use the brick automation project to control the rail voltage, and then with the Bevins bricks adapter, you could directly control power functions trains. Obviously, you could directly control 9 volt trains at that point, and then any powered up trains you do through this situation. So, a couple of things that you also want to kind of take note of here. You get the double powered pickups. Do not do the single for this project. Because anytime you go over a switch track, unless you don't have any, you can get connection interruptions. Also, because they're going through bearings, occasionally you'll see a voltage drop or it'll lose connection. And then in this case, with a Keybrick one light, the train no longer gets power. If you're doing this to power functions, where instead of this, you just want to do all power functions, for example, you like your IR stuff, you have a significant investment, then it loses its power to the infrared receiver and the train shuts off again. So there's 2 solutions to that. One, I'm pretty sure, and I haven't tested it yet, you could put a little inline capacitor, and get a little bit of a stored charge, enough to just roll over that gap. That could be potentially a solution there. Or you could just obviously do the double powered pickups from Bevins Bricks, which is what I recommend regardless, just from a reliability standpoint. Gives you more power. If you have a partial derail, there's a chance you could, then still have power back up and re-rail yourself. all kinds of various things. But I just wanted to show you guys this. Testing has been great so far, and yeah, I'm kind of I'm kind of loving it, actually. You know, it's losing connection because of my laptop, not because of the configuration. But yeah, I think it's. Oh yeah. Also, that's a thing. Brick automation project, at least with my laptop, at least the way I have this program set up, it will occasionally sometimes jump, which is hilarious to me. So like if we stop and then I just push forward once, twice, see it's fine there. And it's fine. Oh, see there it jumped, and all I did was press it once. So I don't know what that's about. It's like jumping to 100% for a split second. And I usually press stop, but it's only for a split second. You know, you don't have to stop. But yeah, I don't know what that's about. But what do you guys think? Is this going to be cool? This is how I'm going to do my layout for sure, long term. You know, I don't know. I don't know exactly if I'm going to do Keybrick 1 lights with doubled pickups or if I'm going to do Keybrick 1s. It's going to depend on whether or not the actual Keybrick 1 can be provided power and still work while it's being provided power. If it doesn't, then I'm going to go with the lights. Or maybe I'll do like a charging yard and like the RC side of the track. And I'll do the split track, so I'll have anything running on the 9-volt track with this situation, and anything that runs in the RC yard will have like a yard to park, and they'll have like just 2 powered rails right there. It'll charge up the Keybrick 1, and then you can just pull out and just go wherever the hell you want at that point. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about this. I'm glad to finally see it come into fruition. The only other thing you might want to do here is, like I said, that capacitor, to trick this into thinking it has a better connection than it does, because it is red. That's supposed to be blue. But again, I don't know that I would be using the lights the entire time. And there's certainly no lack of power. I have run dual motors on this, spun all the way up, and it hasn't powered off. It hasn't run out of power. Obviously, your power is limited by whatever your track source is. You shouldn't have any issues with multiple trains if you're running the Lego, 12-volt solution or 9-volt solution for tracks. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, yeah. You could also use a buck converter to boost the voltage, and that would probably trick this into being blue. But again, I don't know how critical of an issue it is. It doesn't seem to stress it. It seems to run just fine. And it picks up just fine in brick automation. Lights up just fine. Everything's normal. It's just that light is like, hey, I'm not getting enough power. But it is. So any suggestions, any questions, let me know. I'm always in the Battery Powered Bricks Discord, annoying the crap out of people, as per usual. If you guys have any other ideas, hit me up. I'll be glad to talk, and I'll be glad to hang out there. And I'm going to continue to work on this loop, but we're going to leave this project as is for now. I'm going to put back together the 2-3 trains I sacrificed to make this work. And whenever funds become a better thing in the future, I'll pick back up on this project, and we'll pick up a couple more things and make this happen for real. Until then, I'll see you guys around with some other interesting stuff. Have a good one.